What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're diving back into the bird. If you've seen the last video, you would have seen that we repaired the cowl shoulders on both sides. Now, I never got to finish. Well, I did finish. I finished it earlier today. I had ran out of wire. I went ahead, picked up another spool, and I went and knocked that out. Unfortunately, my 2K epoxy primer in a rattle can has not showed up yet. So I got to looking on the shelf and I forgot that I had POR 15. And I have the metal prep here, which is water-based, which is perfect because I don't know if I ever said this. You guys know I like to treat the metal with asphalt, but being that it is very acidic, you got to neutralize it before top coating. So you want to use a water-based cleaner or water itself. Just give it a quick, scuff with some water, blow it dry, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give this a coat of the POR 15. Same here. We got to do our these are the new cowl shoulders. I'm gonna do my edges with weld through primer. Now I'm probably gonna put a coat of POR 15 in the center. While it's easy to get to, got to get the sticker off of that one. But after that, I'm probably gonna get one of these doors ripped off, and it's time to see if we can repair those. Because before I move on to cutting out the floor, the rear section of the floor on this, I want to get my doors situated. Meaning, I either got to try and save these doors or I got to replace them. And I want to have the doors that I'm going to use on the car before I move forward with the floor. So we're going to take these apart. Well, I'm just going to pull the glass out of them, and then we're going to take it off. I do need to get a set of hinges. I've been shopping around trying to find some original ones. It's not looking so good, so I'm probably just gonna bite the bullet and buy a set. I'm just gonna take this metal prep and we're gonna spray this down liberally. Gonna take a Scotch Brite, that fancy, a green one. I think I picked up a pack of like 40 or 50 of these for like 10 bucks on Amazon. Now guys, for my doors, they're pretty rough. They're rougher than I thought. You'll see. I'm gonna rip one of these off. We're gonna get the glass off. I know that I can fix them. The problem is the time is there's definitely a lot of work. So the time invested, is gonna make the project last a bit longer. Now this project is definitely taking a lot longer than I would like. Given between the extensive rust repair, also with the fact that during my work season, I do not have much time for it. But I'm trying to weigh out the options right now on whether to fix or replace. I do got a budget set for this. Unfortunately, that budget is kind of changing up with inflation and everything. All right, so I just started this off by hitting the cowl shoulder with some self-etching primer. You can see the other half's there, just the same. Now I'm gonna let that dry up before I start coating it with the POR 15. So while I'm waiting, let's start. I'm gonna start with the driver's side door first. I had absolutely zero idea what I was doing here. I never took the glass out of a first gen F body before. I just dove in and wung it, figured it out as I went. You can definitely see me struggling. You know, there's a lot of things that I didn't notice and realize that I had to do beforehand. I thought that I can just slide the glass through the guides, but that wasn't the case at all. They needed to be removed and slid out from the bottom. But you live, you learn. I now know how to do the glass on the F body. I could have looked up a video, maybe speed up the process, but where's the fun in that? There's nothing like diving into a project and figuring it out as you go. You guys, how bad these lower hinges are. Look how pitted that is. The tops are, I don't know, be able to reuse my uppers. These lowers though, they're pretty much cooked. So here's what the old door is looking like. You see we got some surface rust here, here. We got to start cleaning all that. That looks pretty bad right there. But I do know for a fact we got some ventilation over here. So this whole corner would need to get rebuilt. Again, I'm gonna clean this all up, and we gotta address the door as a whole, not look at just one repair. I do know right here, the outer skin has a hole that needs to be patched. But looking at it right now, I feel fairly confident with it. But we'll know the truth once we get cleaned up and wired wheeled. So we do got a lot of surface rust in here as well. So I'm gonna go paint these cowls really fast. Mask off the weld through primer. Got the first of 2 coats of POR 15, both cowls and on the inside of both cowl shoulders. I did that by hand with just a 2-inch chip brush. See that sucker right there. We're gonna let that dry up, and in the meantime, we'll start screwing around with this door. So my phone stopped recording because I pretty much ran out of space. And honestly, you guys didn't miss much. I just wire wheeled the door, and then I shut her down for like 2 days because I had to sit back and I had to think about the direction I was going to try and go with this, whether I was going to repair or replace. Main reason is, well, door got no better. You can see just punching holes everywhere. There's a little guy right there. Right there. But what that tells me is that, you know, probably the patch needs to take this whole corner. Now, can these doors be rebuilt? Of course. It's all about whether you're willing to donate the time and the effort into it. For me, I had to think about it because I am trying to speed things up on this. You know, my job, that takes a lot of time from the car, and just with the extensive work that's involved in here, you know, trying to save money here and there, repairing panels adds a lot more time versus replacing. Replacing is like half the time versus repairing. Here's the thing, I like metal work. I actually enjoy doing it. I also enjoy the mechanical sides of things, building the engines, etc. So the the time can be an issue, but it's not a major issue. The main issue is expense. I'm just an everyday guy like you. I'm not made of money, and a project like this extensive, can get out of quick budget wise if you don't keep an eye on it. So I got to crunching numbers. I looked up how much a new set of doors cost just to see. A set of AMD doors are $480, give or take. I'm just off the top of the head. And the OERs were a little cheaper. I think they were more closer to $400 with freight shipping. So all said and done, it's probably $1,000 right there on a set of doors. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to, you know, take that big of an expense. So that's leaving me with the repair option. I can rebuild those shells. The skin, well, I'm gonna try and patch that skin. We'll see where it goes. We all know you may think you're gonna do something a certain way, but once you get into it, it tells a bigger story, and you have to change directions and go with the flow, to say the least. But here, I can do a patch. But like I said, once you dive into it, it might go as far into reskinning the whole door, which is a little bit better on the pocket. The skin's priced at, I think AMD was like $140 with free shipping on Summit, and then OERs again were a little bit cheaper. I think they were like $120, but for some reason Summit has an oversized shipping fee for OER versus the AMD, so it looks like it'd be better to go with the AMDs and get the free shipping. So by repairing both door shells and reskinning both doors, that's gonna bring me to a lot of work on the shells themselves, which for me is no issue. I'm doing this car for myself. If this was for, you know, a customer or whatever, new doors all day long, because the amount of time invested to repair the shells are not worth it. They're not worth the expense to pay somebody to do, unless you're talking, you know, something rare, you know, a Ram Air car where you want all GM sheet metal. That's a different animal. Sometimes something like that you might pay to have something repaired versus replaced. This car, it is a numbers matching 400, but it ain't that. So like I said, for me, this car is for me. It's my time, my expense. So I'm willing to donate my time to save on the expense. So I'm gonna rebuild the shells. For the driver's door, I'm gonna try and save the skin. There's no promises, no guarantees, but at minimum, it will be repaired or reskinned. This door does not have any rot through on it. Has a lot of surface rust, has some good pitting here on the body line and all that. So can I save this skin? Probably. We're gonna have a lot of pitting to fill. Gotta make sure we blast it. I do know the frame on this door without taking it apart is shot. Look, you can see that there's a hole in the bottom. It's got a couple smaller holes up the top. Now another option I did have was to find a set of good used doors. And I was looking and I can't find any. There's nothing near me right now. The closest set of doors I found were probably about 4 hours away in Canada. And then I asked for some pictures on them, and pretty much like the driver's door where it's got that rot hole, both doors are blown out in that corner, and then the shell needs the same repair. So that means the bottom of the shell is probably going to be the same condition. It's not worth me driving 4 hours away. Now, I can wait, shut down all production and wait until I find a set, or I spend the money or I attempt to repair. So I'm going to attempt to repair it. And worst comes to worst, I waste my time and I still spend the money. So let's dive into it. There's definitely a lot of work to fix this door shell, but I'm not going to overcomplicate this. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. And my main focus is going to be this corner. You can see I already started trying to make a template for the first big piece. And I'm going to make this in several pieces. I'm going to have a piece here. There's going to be another piece here, another piece here, another piece here, so on and so forth. It's all going to get welded together. Now I'm going to, like I said, I'm only focused here for now because this is the most rotted part of the door shell. I will come back here, and I'm probably going to do this in one big piece all across the bottom. But the first thing that I am going to need to do is I'm going to have to file this edge of the door skin down so that I can separate and peel up the flange that's folded over. That way I can replace the shell all the way across.